What's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with a review of the new Jeezy album, The Recession 2. Let's get to it. Jeezy is a trap legend, entrepreneur, and motivator of the street. His most critically acclaimed body of work was his 2005 debut album, Thug Motivation 101, an album that was very impactful on my life as it just made me want to go out there and get it. Jeezy's subsequent two albums, The Inspiration and The Recession, were both very strong follow-ups to his debut. He obviously had dope mixtapes at this time as well, but I think most people will acknowledge that Jeezy's first three albums were his best. After his third album, he had some decent projects like Thug Motivation 103 and Seen It All, but I wouldn't put any of those two on the same level as his first three albums or his early mixtapes. So Jeezy is back with The Recession 2, which is the sequel to his 2008 album. Jeezy is also fresh off the epic versus battle with Gucci. I don't want to talk about it on here too much since I already did a recap video, which is on my channel, but the general consensus is that Jeezy was victorious in that battle. The battle did reveal a more mature and responsible side to Jeezy. I saw someone tweet out something funny that Jeezy was on his James St. Patrick Queen's Child project the whole night. Jeezy gave a grown man rebuttal to Gucci's antagonizing comments, and that earned him some hate on social media. Jeezy was called soft and a punk because some individuals wanted him to fight Gucci or, do some violent shit to Gucci on stage. But I think anyone who really paid attention to that battle could see that Jeezy was just in a different headspace. You could tell he's not the same dope boy and trap star that he once was. As cliche as it may sound, he's evolved as a man, and that mature and insightful Jeezy can also be found on this new album, Recession 2. Don't get me wrong, there are still moments on this album where Jeezy talks his hustling shit, but it's not as often as before. Rather, Jeezy speaks more on current events, politics, spirituality, and therapy, a lot more than he does referencing about the times when he used to put them birds together. Now, I will say that after listening to a lot of Jeezy over the years, I don't think he was ever just one-dimensional, as far as only talking about the trap. Recall, he did dabble in a couple political and spiritual themes before, so it's not an entirely new lane for Jeezy. However, this time around, he seems a lot more comfortable and natural in this space than ever before. As far as the production, this is his best produced album, I think, in years. I would say beat-wise, it's about as good as Thug Motivation 103 and Seen It All. There are a lot of soulful samples and really smooth trap-styled backdrops here. Now, Justice League did a big bulk of the production, so you already know the kind of lavish and soulful production that they bring to the table. But with that being said, let me hit y'all with this track-by-track breakdown. The opening record, Oh Lord, sets the tone immediately with words from activist Tamika Mallory. This shows you that Jeezy's frame of mind is different now. He's talking about Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and police killings. So there's this Black Lives Matter theme woven throughout. I really like the sample used, which is from the blues singer Vera Hall from 1937. It just gives you that old soulful and blues feel, which I feel is perfect for Jeezy to reflect on with the political and social matters. Overall, I thought this was a strong opening track. Track 2, entitled Here We Go, has a trap anthem feel. This was produced by Don Cannon, and the triumphant horns give you that authentic Atlanta trap vibe. On this record, Jeezy is talking his talk and reminding you of who he is and what he has done. He is addressing the people who have doubted his street credibility and authenticity. He states, now they're going to tell you that I wasn't really about that. Like I ain't have a whole milli before the contract. Like I ain't stand up in the kitchen catching a contact. It's like, even though he has evolved and moved past that, he still has to remind the haters and let them know. And I can respect that. Sometimes you just got to set the record straight. After this, we have Modern Day, produced by Don Cannon. It's another trap-flavored beat, but it's a little moodier and atmospheric. Jeezy is doing more of his braggadocio talk. I would classify this as another banger. Has a pretty impressive chorus, and he plays on the modern day theme. He had on the hook, real estate. That's a modern day flex. As we know, Jeezy has been about real estate for a while now, and he also states being black is like a modern day curse. Then we have the song Back featuring Yo Gotti, produced again by Don Cannon. It's a wavy trap ballad. The beat is giving me some lush cartel vibes. Instrumentally, there's a flute, some Spanish guitars, and a pretty melodic vocal harmony. Jeezy states, "They say I left the hood, but I got it on my back." So I would classify tracks 2, 3, and 4 as street anthems. Nothing really, different content-wise from older Jeezy projects, but the production was on point. What follows is The Ghetto featuring the legend E40. Yeah, I said it. He's a legend. Now, I know New Yorkers despise E40 and they think he's a trash lyricist, but I'm not from New York, so I think E40's a legend. Shout out to New York, though. You have a dope Donny Hathaway sample here. I'm really getting some strong Too Short vibes from the hook, and it just has a 90s Bay Area sound in general. This was another slapper. It's a street record. I thought E40 had one of his better verses in a while. His flow actually sounded like vintage 90s E40. He states, "Always remember a fiend, never forget a phone number. In the ghetto, when your lips is black, you either smoke too much cigarettes or do too much crack. We trying to get out, and that's a fact. Finish college, congratulations on that." I thought E40 saying a fiend never forgets a phone number was pretty clever, and also hearing him say congratulations was great. Gotta love the slang, man. Up next, we have the track Ends, and I see Charles Hamilton has a production credit on it. Maybe it just contains a sample from him, but I do like the guitar production. It just gave the record a Dirty South kind of feel. On this track, Jeezy is addressing the mindset of certain individuals within his hood whom he's trying to distance himself from. He's speaking on a certain mentality that he views as toxic and short-sighted. It's a solid song. I wasn't blown away by it, but it's cool. So far, I have no issues with the album at all sonically. After this is the conceptual track Death of Me, in which Jeezy likens his undying love for the streets to that of an unhealthy relationship. While it's not the most original concept in hip hop, I think this song works because of who Jeezy is and his street credentials. It just makes it more heartfelt and believable. He's really painting a picture and telling a story well. So you are getting this love letter to the streets on top of some really soulful production. It's like the beat is talking to you. I really dig this record a lot, and it's one of my favorites from the album. Track 8 is the Stimulus Check. This contains a dope Bobby Womack sample. I really like the soulful groove to the beat. This song ties in well to Jeezy's recession theme. He talks about the hard times that everyday people are facing due to the economy and COVID-19. It's a tough grind out there, and not everyone got the stimulus checks. Jeezy appears to be disillusioned with the concept of government. He also questions the motives of politicians. This record really finds Jeezy in his man of the people bag. I really like the saxophone at the end as well. Then we have what is easily my least favorite and only song that I dislike, My Reputation. While I have always dug the particular SOS band sample used here, I didn't care for Demi Lovato singing it. It just felt synthetic and lacked the soul of the original. Plus, the beat was overproduced and it just seemed tacky. Sure, one could bob their head to this, and I've probably heard worse singles, but this one was way too sugary for my liking. I just envisioned a bunch of people in Studio 54 dancing to disco and doing too much cocaine, a vibe I really didn't care to feel. After this, we have The Glory featuring Neo. This has a buttery smooth Marvin Gaye sample. It's a feel good and groovy kind of anthem where you can get your grown man two-step on. The production is fresh. It's cleaner than a preacher on a Sunday morning. I like the vibes on this record a lot, and it's light years ahead of My Reputation. Following this is the Justice League produced Live and Die. This finds Jeezy paying homage to his city of Atlanta. It's basically a love letter to his city. This noticeably samples Tupac's Live and Die in LA. The instrumental is very smooth overall. It's a heartfelt tribute to his city, but he also keeps it really real about the young kings who have been killed senselessly. What follows is the song Praying Right, and this sees Jeezy tapping into his spiritual bag. It has another mellow and soulful backdrop courtesy of the Justice League. He's talking about how he's had to evolve or die. And if you have a big homie that's telling you any differently about evolving, then it's a lie. So he's dropping some deep game here and giving you some insight on the importance of prayer in his life. Jeezy stays in this kind of pensive and introspective lane for the following track, Therapy for My Soul. Now, this record had gotten some social media buzz prior to the album release because it contained a Jeezy diss to both 50 Cent and Freddie Gibbs. This is a thought-provoking track where he acknowledges how street life had scarred him, to the point that he needs therapy. So this is right up Charlemagne the God's alley. He's kind of venting, letting it all out, and being transparent about his emotions on the game. But he also deemed it necessary to send shots at Freddie Gibbs and 50. But I think Jeezy is justified for responding to Gibbs, considering how Freddie Gibbs never misses an opportunity to talk greasy about him, which is something that I think is corny about Freddie Gibbs. As much as I like his music, the man makes really dope hip hop, but I tend to dislike his antics on social media. I'm just keeping it all the way funky. The second to last track is Almighty Black Dollar featuring Rick Ross, produced by the Justice League. And this is one of the more up-tempo bangers. Ross actually sounds like he has a pulse on this record, unlike many of the sleep-inducing verses that he has given us this year. I don't know, maybe it was the high energy beat that actually made him give a shit. The theme to this song is Black excellence, Black money. There's a mentioning of Black Wall Street and Black kings striving for success. I like how Jeezy also calls out the Gucci label for their blatantly racist line of clothing from over a year ago. This record is a banger with a pro-black aesthetic, although Ross is mainly talking his capitalist shit as expected. The closing track, Kingdom, is introspective Jeezy on top of some angelic pianos. It's a very classy and beautiful instrumental, which is fitting for the content. It's a spiritual and motivational record for sure. He states, I gotta stay on my path. I gotta conquer my goals. Some call it success. I call it food for the soul. I know some can relate and the rest gonna hate. Do it with or without you, so it ain't no debate. Jeezy seems to be on the path to finding inner peace, and he's not going to let the mindset of haters and small-minded individuals bring him back into that negative space. Overall, I give this album a rating of 4 out of 5. Now, I could see anyone giving this anywhere between a 3.5 and 4 mics, but I chose to round up higher to a 4. Like I said earlier, I thought this was his best produced and most consistent body of work since Thug Motivation 103. I was able to appreciate his lyrical maturity as well. Sure, there are still plenty of hustling and street records, but he has come a long way as a person and as an artist. Jeezy is more versatile now as a songwriter. He's not just a one-trick pony. He can give you social commentary, the street life, politics, religion, etc. And he's not going completely soft on us either. He's just trying to promote a healthier mentality and to give us a more thoughtful perspective on the trap. In other words, he's showing us balance. My favorite tracks include Oh Lord, Here We Go, The Ghetto, Death of Me, The Glory, Therapy for My Soul, and Almighty Black Dollar. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section below. What would you like me to check out next? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Jeezy, The Recession 2, 1.